Hey, what is going on today? We've got an awesome guest. He's a great friend of mine. Worked with him. Gosh, you've actually taught me a ton through the short sale world. And we've got my good friend Kevin Kaufman here, who is from Arizona and leads the group 4610. Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, buddy? First of all, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being on here, dude. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. God, we go way back. We're definitely the old guys in the industry now. Because when you and I met, we were the young whippersnappers, right? Doing short sales. So I've got a business partner, Fred, and him and I have worked together now since February of 2008. I've been licensed since '07, middle of
Yeah.
'07. And we effectively started a team right away, and it was based all, as you mentioned, it was on short sales, right? So we built a business on short sales, and of course, after a number of years, we've had to shift and adjust so many times over the years and change our business model and our approach. And it's been a ride, man. It's definitely been a ride.
Yeah, in fact, the first time I learned of you was through your podcast group or 4610 short sales. And what was funny about that is I had basically just started into real estate in 2012 from mortgage because we needed to bring another arm on. And I had a client call me and they said, "Hey, we need to sell our house. We're getting divorced, but we owe more than the house is worth." And they're like, "Do you know how to do them?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And then I bring back the contract and I'm like, "All right, well, how do I figure out how to do a short sale?" And so that's where I started watching your podcast, shot you an email, we connected. So I appreciate you so much. So let me ask you, starting off, like, you started you got into real estate. Tell me, like, when you knew it was time, or like what got you, what led you to start a team.
You know, it's we actually started a team from the get go.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mentioned I've got a business partner, Fred. Him and I have been working together since February of '08. What brought us together was we were both doing short sales.
Okay.
We were both actually his little brother was was working effectively as an assistant for both of us part time and
Okay.
helping us with our short sales and stuff like that. And we had lunch one day and we're like, what would it be like if we just sat together in the same office and maybe helped each other? Because like it sucks calling these banks, and
Yeah,
it's
dude.
kind of no fun. And like, what if we just sort of support each other? And then we went, that'd be cool. What we could probably incentivize each other, share some of the income, share all of the expenses, and that was really it. Like so, like we had his brother effectively as a full time employee from day one.
Okay.
We then re- and he loves us to still take credit for starting this, as he likes to say. And then we hired our first real hire a few months later, and so we like hired a Brian was amazing and kind of a jack of all trades, but we hired a true like administrative real estate professional who really kind of helped us take our first steps beyond just being able to get short sales approved, like take the listings and get them approved. And so, and then we hired agents right away too. Now, I'm not saying we did it right. We sucked so bad,
Yeah.
but we did it right away. Like, oh, in fact, like we got paid, like, we got paid last. Like there was, man, I'll never forget, Jake, that first real hire. She didn't just come to work for us a few months later. Like we paid her first paycheck and then borrowed it back from her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a tough time, dude. It was a tough
Yeah.
time, and we were fighting to make it happen. But we also knew that we were onto something. So like that was my first full year in real estate. Fred and I closed 60 transactions that year. But
Oh,
like the
good
thing is,
business.
it was, except their average sales price was like 115, and
Right. Right.
but 40 of the 60 closed in the fourth quarter. So just like think about like planning for cash and expenses. It took, the dam finally broke October that year, and it was a rough ride for sure.
I talk about that time, that period in time when we were dealing with short sales and foreclosures, because I did a lot of short sales myself. And I share with partners today, I says, a hard market. I mean, you go back to that, it felt like you were winning, and you had no idea when you're getting paid because they could take 3 months, 6 months. I had one take a year. I'm sure you've had over a year, and so 3 years. Wow. And so it was like, okay, it felt like you're winning because you got 40 pending, but you're like, dude, when are these getting approved? Because we were at the mercy of the bank at that point.
Yeah, it was rough. It made planning and the business tough at first, and then but we were super lucky. Because we had this skill set of short sales that at the time, like think about it. Even you got it in 2012, but like go back a couple years. Um, the success rate for short sales in the industry was like 30-40%, and here we were closing like 90% or more. And
Yeah,
so that got us in a lot of rooms, and then uh, created a lot of relationships, and luckily a lot of those people were very smart business people, and they mentored us in a lot of ways. And
that's
so
good.
some formally, some informally, so that helped us to kind of start viewing it as a business almost from the get-go.
Yeah, yeah. I came into it in mortgage in '02, and then like we opened our company. Our first transaction was March of '08. And if you remember, I still remember it vividly. That was when the first company was New Century Mortgage,
Oh,
very
I remember.
first, yeah, very first company to actually have their books opened by the federal government. It was massive news. And then after that, it was boom, boom, boom. We went from 25 partners to me and my business partner. And then we're like, dude, what do we do? Like, we can't get you can't approve a loan right now. Like the monies were cut off. So, well, let's fast forward, Kevin, to today. Now, what's your structure? What's your team structure today look like?
Yeah, I'm glad that you threw the qualifier of today, because the thing is, over the last 17 years, it's evolved and changed many times.
Yeah.
Um, Effectively, what it looks like today. So I'm in Phoenix, Tempe,
Mm-hmm.
technically, and we run a real estate team out of here. Now, we've actually also been selling real estate in Denver for the last 11 years now, and we still
Wow.
do.
Okay.
But the majority of our focus these days is here in Phoenix. We've got a team of about it's a moving target, right? 12 agents.
Sure.
Um, and it's, dude, we're just a regular residential real estate team. Our agents work with buyers, they work with sellers. Um, we have a lot of tenure on our team,
That's
but
huge.
we've also begun hiring new agents again this year. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're starting to have more kind of like baby agents, which is, it has its challenges, but for me, it's a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
being able to help people kind of get where they want. And the way I view my business is my business, the team, is a platform for the agents I'm in business with to run their business, to be able to sell more real estate, do it more effectively, build wealth, actually build a life, things like that.
Yeah, it's you mentioned that, and when I look at the history of my world, right, and I initially got into leadership and started building a team because I wanted to make more money and spend less time in the business. I really quickly learned that that is not the case, right? And it was very selfish at that point in time. In fact, like my biggest and most exciting, we just one of my partners today. He started with me. He's 22, brand new. He was selling vans, Kevin. He was literally selling vans at the mall next door. And then in his time, he was getting his real estate license. He went and started working for a car dealership to learn about sales because he had no clue. Like selling vans is not sales, right? So fast forward 2 years today, it took a lot to mentoring. It took a lot of, hey, dude, we got to get you serious with the conversations, the scripts, and how you lead generate. Fast forward today, I was talking to him the other day. He just got in contract on buying his first house at 24 years old. So even younger than when I bought my first place. And he was telling me I got my 401 fully funded for the year. I have 10 months worth of reserves saved up. And it's just so cool to see that and be a part of that. That's what like fills my bucket every day I come to work.
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So, tell me. So we know short sales, and we've actually had some conversations around your business now and how you kind of had to retool it. What's your main lead source now?
You know, what's funny is it actually hasn't changed at all over the years. We have two main sources of business, which is internet leads. So think Google pay per click and referrals. The referrals can be broken down a little bit further. There's sphere of influence slash past clients, and then there's like referral companies or referral partners, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course referrals from other agents. Like you and I send referrals back and forth to each other, and so those are, you know, we have other lead sources. Don't get me wrong; those are just the only two that I really care about.
Yeah. And those are going to be your best ROI, in my opinion, right? I mean, when you start getting those referrals from the people you love and know, the people that trust you, it becomes an easier situation, and it's just a higher closing percentage. So, and then you also have to build that database. So, tell me like what systems, tools, or models have been most important or have driven the most growth in your organization?
I mean, the reality is through all the ups and downs and changes in our business, that the number one thing that's ever driven our growth has been people. It's always been about people. I've been a believer in, um, like, listen, you and or I, we our capacity is whatever our capacity is,
Yeah.
and so whenever we hit that ceiling, if we're going to grow, it's going to require more people. Now, sometimes that's like administrative people to make our world better. And oftentimes, though, the part that people miss is it's also additional salespeople. And so it really probably about 10, 11 years ago, I realized like this is going to only come through not just more people, but like a lot more people. And so focusing in on how to hire, how to onboard and train and kind of get people into production, both agents as well as administrative people. Like those are both they're different skills, but they're both skills that I think they have to be mastered if you're going to ever have a business that you own as opposed to just a job with some people around you.
Yeah, that's so well said. So well said. It's always the people and the people you surround yourself. Let me ask you this: if you were to go back, right? Because this channel we have is it's Teamology. It's talking to successful team leaders and things of strategies and giving advice. What would be the advice you would give yourself when you started the team that maybe you've learned through, I don't know, umpteen years of having a team? What would that look like for yourself?
Hire more agents sooner. I would have hired more sooner and faster.
Okay.
A lot of people who build a team, they have this thing around like, oh, I don't want to have turnover. And the reality is, you know, dude, now coming into the beginning of this year, before I got back involved in like started recruiting agents to the team again, I bet our average tenure on our team was probably approaching somewhere around 7 or 8 years. No exaggeration.
Wow, that's
Right.
awesome.
Like our buddy Ben sat down at breakfast with us about a year ago, and he had never met everybody. So everybody went around and introduced themselves and said how long they'd been on the team. And Ben was floored. He said, he more than once he said to me, he's like, I can't get over how long everybody's been with, how long the tenure is on this team. And so I share that to go, but the way I got there was I hired a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I learned it from Ben. Ben taught me this 10, 12 years ago. If you want to hire Navy SEALs, that means you got to hire the Navy. And I took that on, and I just, giving myself advice back then now would be just like hire even more, even faster. And then it's okay. Let the cream rise to the top, but keep bringing people in.
Yeah, and I think that becomes is from my experience leading a team is you start getting into this mindset, you start letting these doubts or things creep in, like looking at yourself as a leader when people are leaving or when people are in production. But really what it has to do is, hey, you know what, not everyone's a fit, number one, with the what needs to be done to really thrive in this real estate market. Because realtors make it look easy, right? We go on social, we post all the wins, but we don't post the struggles, right? So one, and two, I always look in the mirror and say, okay, did I give them the tools? did I show them a roadmap? And if I did those things, then it kind of gets back onto them. Are they willing to put in the work? And some agents just aren't willing to do it, no matter how much you say, "Hey, this is what you need to do to be successful." And it, at that point in time, it's like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe you're not a good fit, right? Maybe our intensity or what we're looking for isn't what it needs to be."
Yeah, man, that's so true. I early on, I took it really personal when somebody failed,
Same, same here.
or when somebody left, whether they had failed or not. I took it all personal, and I was like, "What's wrong with me? Like, what am I doing wrong?" And then what I realized is, the people that were being successful and the people that were never getting off the ground, they had the same opportunity, they got the same training, and I just had to realize, like, okay, that's not on me, and I can't let it wear me down. And so, because the thing I'd add back on to what I said a few moments ago was, because if I continue to hire people and I continue to grow, that's going to expose more and more holes on my side too. And
Yep.
and then we just have to be able to fill those gaps with our administrative support, our system support, things like that. We've got to be able to grow along with it. And so, assuming that I'm also doing my job, I'm bringing my, I'm doing my part. More agents, and then I gotta continue to get better.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're always in growth mode, right? We're always growing, always learning. I mean, if you're not learning, I think Maxwell said it, it's like plants. I mean, if you're not watering the plant, they're going to die. Same with humans. If we're not growing, we're just stagnant. So, in closing, Kevin, how do you want to have your, call it your team, or your leadership, or your organization to be remembered? 10 years, I mean, what do you want to see? I mean, what's that look like for you?
From the get go, very early on, Fred and I wrote out a mission statement, and it's true today: to produce extraordinary results, influence people, and impact lives. It's always been our mission statement. It's still true to this day. And so when I think about maybe agents that have been on the team and then went off on their own and started their own thing, I want them to think back and go, man, I really learned, like, I learned a lot from those guys. I learned a lot from being on that team. Hopefully they also contributed a lot, but they feel like they got a lot from us. That's important to me. And when other agents out in the marketplace are doing deals with whether agents on our team or agents that used to be on our team, they're like, this is a good agent. Like, I didn't just teach them how to sell real estate. Like, we taught them about everything that's involved and made them a more well-rounded agent, business person, and person. That's
Love
what
that.
I think of.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. In closing, buddy, you're a learner, massive. I mean, I just attended your podcast, Next Level Agents LA, in LA. Fantastic podcast yesterday. What books would you throw out there for recommendation to someone who, maybe they're building a team, maybe they're knee deep in a team, maybe they need to grow a little bit.
I think anybody who's a leader, like, one of the things they have to master is people. And the first book that comes to mind is Who by Randy Street and Jeff Smart. Like, that's an amazing book on hiring. Um, I think the more that we can learn about ourselves and understand ourselves better, the better we show up for other people and therefore lead other people better. And so anything that has to do, I'm super interested in psychology, why we do things, uh, why do humans behave the way we behave? Like, that interests me quite a bit. And so anything along those lines. And if I logged into my Audible account, dude, I could give you self, like, I give you a laundry list, right?
Yeah, same.
Um, but I think those are the things, like understanding business, and then also, and people, and then understanding people, just doing that, um, those are some of the things I think of.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you being here. Kevin Kaufman, Group 4610, out of Tempe and Denver. If you have referrals, you need a great team, great agent that's going to help them, definitely shoot him a call. Also, next level agents, right? I mean, that's a great. Tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it started as it's a Facebook group, Next Level Agents. It's a podcast, Next Level
Yep.
Agents. You can find it anywhere podcasts are found. And then we're also part of the brokerage EXP. And so Next
Mm-hmm.
Level Agents is the name of like mine and Fred's community of agents that are within our brokerage here, where we do a lot of events, culture, teaching, masterminds, things like that. And so it's really Next Level Agents is just an idea of it's a community of agents that want to be better. They want to be better
Yeah.
business people. They want to be better people. They want to be better at whatever it is in their life.
Love it. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. And until the next one, Teamology, subscribe, like the channel if you want to learn a little bit. We're going to have a lot of guests coming on here. So I appreciate your time.